This is the weekly recap, and I'm your host. You're watching the Sports Zone. This is the NFL news for the week. Monday, January 19th. The Buffalo Bills fire head coach Sean McDermott. Very good in the regular season, but never could reach a Super Bowl in the playoffs. So they wanted something new in there. Hopefully he gets picked up soon. Very good coach. Dolphins hire Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their next coach. Very good defensive coordinator. Dolphins failed to reach their expectations, and they got a new head coach. Think they'll be much better with him next year. Tuesday, January 20th, Broncos quarterback Bo Nix underwent successful surgery to repair fractured ankle. He hurt his ankle in the Buffalo Bills game in overtime. I wish him a safe and quick recovery, and he'll be back by the next season, hopefully. No news Wednesday, no news Thursday. Friday, the Buffalo Bills interview former QB Phillip Rivers. Very great quarterback. He should be in the Hall of Fame soon. I don't know if that would be the perfect fit. I don't know if we should put in a first-time head coach there. No news Saturday. Sunday, the Patriots beat the Broncos 10-7. Didn't do the most, but they did enough to win. Their defense is very good. They got some really good wide receivers. Drake Mays, very good quarterback. Broncos were without their starting quarterback, so that really hurt them. Seahawks beat the Rams 31-27. Rams are very, very talented. Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford had a very great season. Matthew Stafford will probably get the MVP, maybe not. Sam Darnold just proved all of his haters wrong. They're all hating on him, saying he's not going to do good, not going to do good. And if they do win, it's going to be the defense that wins them the game. But Sam Darnold's a really great quarterback overall. Got a lot of experience. Very talented. Then Phillip Rivers backs out of the Buffalo Bills head coaching job. I don't think that wasn't going to be a good fit there. He wasn't going to be the greatest fit there. Moving on to college football. Monday, January 19th. Indiana Hoosiers beat the Miami Hurricanes 27-21 to win their first national championship. A perfect 16-0 season. Tuesday, January 20th. Backup quarterback for the Indiana Hoosiers, Alberto Mendoza, transfers to Georgia Tech. He's the younger brother of Fernando Mendoza. So probably will be very talented, I hope. He did appear in 5 games, played very well in those games. No news Wednesday, no news Thursday. Friday, they come to an agreement. College football will remain at 12 teams for the playoffs. Kind of agree with it. Could have raised a little bit. They were trying to go 24. Didn't like that. I want meet somewhere in the middle in about the teens, mid-teens. Fernando Mendoza declares for the draft. He could have had one more year of eligibility, but very talented, very talented. I hope he does very great with the Raiders, and I hope they're much more successful next year. Dabo Swinney talking about the tampering. He said that Pete Golding called one of his players before he ever entered the transfer portal. That's not right to do that in the first place. And then he called him in the middle of his classes. You don't do that. Then he got quarterback Trinidad Chambliss to call him, and he was in the background saying things. And then he got Jackson Dart, the Giants quarterback, former Ole Miss quarterback, to do that. That's just a bad look on Pete Golding. Not very professional. That's not what you do as a head coach. No news Saturday, no news Sunday. I'm going to be giving my preseason top 25 for the college football this year, 2026. Number 1, I have Texas. Texas, they fell short of their expectations this year. They were number 1 in the preseason poll last year, but they built their team up this year. they got a lot of key pieces, key players. They spent a lot of money. Number 2, Ohio State. Think that they will win the Big Ten. I don't know if Indiana, they might be able to beat them, but it'll just be, you'll just have to watch the first of the season, see how it goes. Both of them will be very talented. Ohio State, they're benefited by keeping Julian Sand and Jeremiah Smith. They're both staying, so that'll benefit them. Number 3, Indiana, very talented. They did it very good last year, my bad. Next year, they're not going to have Mendoza, but they did get Hoover from TCU, so we'll just have to see if they're good next year. They recruited pretty good, too. Number 4, Georgia, very good SEC team. Probably will be in the SEC championship. It'll probably be Texas and Georgia. We'll just have to see there. Number 5, Notre Dame, very talented. They were left out of the college football playoff last season, so they have something to prove. Really would benefit them if they would go into a conference, because if they would have just been in a conference, they would have made their conference championship, and they would have just won that. They would have been in the playoffs, and we would have had no problems. Number 6, Oklahoma, very talented. John Mateer, he's staying. He's very talented. They put some key players around him, got some key pieces. They'll be very fun to watch. Number 7, Texas Tech, very good. They recruited very good this year. Got some good guys out of the portal. I really like their coach he came right out of high school to come coach college football, and he's made a very good adjustment there. Number 8, Texas A&M. I like their coach. I like Marcel Reed there at quarterback. They built some guys around him. They made the playoffs. Only they didn't score very much that game. They didn't impress me in the college football playoffs. They impressed me. Then they lost to Texas. Then they lost in the playoffs to Miami. Number 9, Oregon. They recruit very well. Dan Lanning, he's a great recruiter. Think they'll be very, very, very fun to watch. Number 10, Miami, made the national championship. They got Malachi Tony and Mark Fletcher. They're losing Carson Beck, but they got another quarterback from Duke. All that has to get settled out, but once it all gets settled out, that's where he's going to go. Number 11, Alabama. They lost a lot. They lost to Indiana, and they lost a lot of players. They lost a lot of key players. They also gained some really good players. That's where I got them there. Number 12, USC. They had the number 1 recruiting class this season. So I think that really benefits you there. If you can recruit very good, that's going to help you a lot. Yeah. Number 13, LSU. Lane Kiffin coming in there, turning things around. They had the number 1 portal class. The reason they had that was because they didn't recruit good. I mean, they recruited good, but they got a late start to recruiting, later than everybody else got, because Kiffin came in there. So he went and got some guys in the a quarterback, got some guys in the portal, and they'll have a very tough schedule, but I think they'll be able to adapt well. Number 14, Ole Miss. They got something to prove next year. They got to prove that they can do it without Kiffin. I don't know if they can do it without Kiffin. They almost did. They almost won it all without Kiffin, but they lost in the semifinals, so they'll be really fun to watch. BYU at number 15, very talented. They got a true freshman quarterback. He played amazing. He was almost as talented as the senior quarterbacks this year. Very great. Penn State fell very, very short of their expectations last season, but I think they recruited pretty well. Not the best, but they recruited enough to get by. And I think they'll be very fun to watch. Number 17, Michigan. Got the new head coach, recruited good. I like Bryce Underwood. He's very good. They built some talent around him after this season. So they'll probably be better next season. They were pretty good last season, 9-4. not the best. But number 18, Clemson. Only reason I have them here, if they would have just recruited, they don't like to recruit. They recruit, but they don't use the transfer portal, and they're not going to go out and pay these guys millions of dollars. I mean, I don't think. I mean, that's what college football's came to. I don't agree with it. Shouldn't be paying. You're getting paid. Some of these guys are getting paid what the pros are making. Some of them are getting paid more than what the pros are making. I don't agree with that. Number 19, SMU. Number 20, Iowa. Number 21, FSU. They started off very, very well. Then they kind of just died off. They got up in the rankings, and then they just started losing, Number 22, Georgia Tech. Very talented, very talented. They started off 8-0, lost to NC State, barely beat Boston College. And then, they could have went to the ACC championship ultimately and lost to Pittsburgh. They got Alberto Mendoza as their quarterback. They needed a quarterback position because they recruited well on the defense. And they got good in the transfer portal, and they did pretty well on offense. They got Justice Haynes in the transfer portal, number 1 running back out of the class of 2023. Very talented running back. He'll be very fun to watch. Number 23, Houston. Talented year, but they didn't. They put guys over them. I think they were ranked, but they put guys over them because of the competition level. Number 24, Tennessee fell short of their expectations this last season, but they kept most of their guys. They gained more, but they kept their guys. They kept their coaches. So I think that they'll be able to start off hot because, if you lose a lot of players, gain a lot of players, these guys got to build together. They got to work together. So it might take a couple weeks to get to a group to start winning and becoming a great football team. But they already got it together. And they didn't have a good year last year, but they get it together. They can be very talented. Number 25, Boise State. Talented, very talented. They fell short of expectations this year. Hopefully they can do very well. Hey, leave your comments and leave your thoughts